birthday of quinceañeras, which were there's these 5 Mexican girls that were doing their quinceaños, you know. How do you say that in English? Yeah. They're sweet 16, but they're 15. Yeah. And one of the girls,
because of MTV, I know what a quinceañera is.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the girls were trans, and their family was so open to it.
Which is really sweet.
Which is amazing. Lucky. Yeah, very lucky. Unfortunate. I didn't have that experience because my mom doesn't accept it. She doesn't get it. My father does. She doesn't. And I just honestly, give it time. Like I always told Kevin, give it time and see where it goes.
It's interesting. You said your mother's against it, but your dad is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I think it's religion. My dad's Muslim, and my mom is a Pentecostal Christian.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's just more old school and just more closed-minded to it.
Why do you think your father being Muslim made it easier for him?
My
dad's Muslim too, so
okay.
So you know.
Which honestly, you would think also Muslims are very strict and stuff. Yeah. But my dad's European, so I feel like he's just more open-minded, and I don't know, my dad's more open to it than my mom.
There's a lot of old school kind of Christian, Catholic, with your parents too, Kevin, right?
Oh. So he's definitely
12 times. Whoa.
So
he's easy to marry.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how scandalous, you know. So it's like he doesn't really care. It's been like 6 years since I actually get to see him, and I try to see him as often as I can. I try to call him, FaceTime, but he's always busy. He's a businessman, so he never has time. So it feels like neglect. And then with my mom, it just feels like neglect because of religion as well. Yeah. So
isn't it interesting the things that are supposed to keep us close?
Yeah, religion and God is supposed to preach about love and unity, and it's like dividing us even more. That's why I say religion is different from what you believe in.
Yeah, and it's interesting because let's face it, I'm pretty open. I live in New York. I'm really, not a lot of things bother me, and I've seen a lot of stuff that people will never see, you know, and that's another podcast. And I don't necessarily know that I ever look stupid to say that, but, or, you know, and over the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years, the transgender thing, I never really had an opinion of like, oh, you're good or you're bad. I never thought about it. I remember thinking, who am I to judge their life? It's not my life. And I've always felt that way. And I don't understand for the life of me how something that you do in your personal life can bother me so much. Like, who gives a fuck if you're going to go to heaven or hell? It doesn't do with me.
I just feel like that you must have something inside of you that you're fighting with that it bothers you so much that Kevin is gay.
Yeah.
You know?
It's strange to me how angry some people get. And I mean, not that I ever had, at one point in my life, I didn't know anybody who was, you know, in high school, or maybe not high school, but you know, there's always that point in your life where you don't know anyone who's gay yet.
Yeah.
You're young in life and you don't know, and it's funny to think that, and I know that with transgender, there were times I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have an opinion negatively. It was very much like, okay, that's how they live their life.
Yeah.
You know?
I honestly judge people on who they are personally. Yeah. Like I went to performing arts school here in New York, and there was a gay guy there that I couldn't stand him. But it wasn't because he was gay or because I felt like,
just a jerk.
You know, he was just messy.
Yeah, I've known.
And I don't like
messy,
that.
Messy, like gossipy. Like
gossipy.
Real
flamboyant. Too much. Yeah, like just trying too hard.
Yeah, trying too hard to be someone else that.
And I judge people on who they are.
Have you guys been watching, or have you watched, you were just talking about trying too hard to be somebody they're not, the Johnny Versace, the assassination of Johnny Versace?
Oh,
you need to see it. The reason
it was on the same time as us.
Oh, but you got.
But I would DVR it.
Yeah, DVR. It's so good because what you just said, the character who plays it, or the Andrew Cunanan, I find it fascinating as a physician because his psychological, he was a sociopath. This man wanted so badly to be rich and admired that he made up this whole life.
He was a pathological liar.
Wow.
Yeah. And I feel to some extent, all of us have done it, but do you feel like personally, like not the psychopathic side, let's scratch that, but like do you ever feel like you had to pretend to be something so that other people liked you?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
You're absolutely faking the funk. Like, on Instagram, I never used to post pictures with makeup. I never used to do the influencer
you wearing
thing.
Makeup.
Me wearing makeup. Okay. It was just me as a normal guy.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of followers. People would love the Kevin that they saw. But then I actually started showing what I do, my makeup and whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to enter this personality as an influencer. And I had to like fake the funk of how to really channel that feel because I was always just somebody else's makeup artist. I always did people's makeup.
Yeah, you kept yourself out of it.
Yeah, I never was the one to do that. So then I had to force myself to be someone I wasn't and watch people hate me or like me.
Yeah. You know, for a very innocent thing, my nieces are 6 and 7, and about a year ago, they love the whole YouTube. It's just something about watching. My freaking 5-year-old niece, when she was 5, she knew what highlighter or contour was. I'm like, we are screwed. But you know, she saw a boy wearing makeup, and she was watching it, and she looks at me, she's like, oh, there's a boy wearing makeup. And you know what I said? Sometimes boys wear makeup. And that was it. There were no questions.
Nice.
That was it. I just thought, let's just not make a big deal out of it. Like, sometimes boys wear makeup.
Which is true, even straight men sometimes you wear makeup.
Yeah, no,
but
they do.
It just, it was, but there was no follow-up after that and any kind of questions. And I remember thinking, this is what we need to just start doing. Just, like, not make it so
And kids are
complicated.
more understanding and they're less judgmental, and kids are
well,
more...
you're teaching them what to judge.
You're teaching them, exactly.
You know, and if I had gone
Tolerance.
into this long thing about, sometimes boys wear makeup, and she's like, oh. And then that was it. It wasn't a big deal.
I'm gonna take it like a little personal. Like me and my boyfriend, when I first met him, he didn't know that about my past. And I just didn't want to tell him just because I felt like I wanted him to know me first, for me, before I even got into anything serious. Yeah. And we did get sexual, you know, it did get...
Before you told him?
Before I did tell him.
That's
tough. I know, that was tough. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a drunken night, you know, it was drunken love.
Oh my gosh.
And someone actually told him. Because they had saw me on a article and someone had told him. He worked at a barbershop, you know, so can you imagine all these like masculine men at a barbershop. And I'm not gonna lie, he cried because he was confused. He was like, wait, what? Hold on, this can't be, like, does this mean I'm gay? And I'm like, no, because honestly, you know, what I'm serving is female, and that's what you like, you know?
Right.
So that's what's on the menu.
Yeah.
So he's like, I get it, you know, so, but for a long time I had to like hide who I was because people just didn't get it. And at the end, you know, we've been together for 2 years and he loves me for who I am and he knows he's a straight man and I'm a straight woman and that's how we live our life.
I have to ask you this because I'm so want to know how you dealt with this. Before you had your reassignment, how much harder was it then when you were dating people? Because with your current boyfriend, you were already, you know, the full female on the menu.
Yeah.
How was that before? Are you comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, it was hard. It was extremely hard because, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that have fantasies, you know,
you didn't want to
fetishes,
be
and I didn't want to be like 50 Shades of Grey with anyone.
Right.
You know, so I always had to like really filter guys, and I really didn't date, like, even though guys, you know, were on my shit, but I would never take like a serious relationship just because
you're probably considered a fantasy or a fetish, right?
Exactly.
And you were like, no, but I want somebody to love me
for who I am, exactly. And I, you know, and I found that, but before it was hard because people just didn't get that.
No, and it takes it's a lot to go through that last stage. It's a lot of emotional, physical.
That's why when people try to like label you or try to figure you out, it's very expensive. It's extremely expensive. Like, I'm just like, you know, no one really has walked in my shoes and nobody really knows me.
A lot of them that don't want to have kids. And
or a lot of them that don't want to have kids.
You know, so
or don't get their period. Or don't, like, you know, it's like, it's different now, you know?
Yeah. It's different, and yet at the same time, we're still fighting to be heard. There's still all these things, like, not even talking about this climate that we're in now, you know, we're going to talk about that.
With politics.
But you know, just the fact that a gay person is still talked about as a gay person, not just as a person.
As a person.
Right?
I agree.
It's strange.
That's why
and
I'm
then
like...
we're still talking about marriage equality. It seems like, I look at some of this news and I think that that's how it was for women at one point when we couldn't vote.
Yes.
You know, or a minority that had to drink in different bathrooms or go to different so that's how I feel like we're doing this now.
That's how I feel. That's like when I the other day I was watching Malcolm X, the movie. And I noticed that they were calling everybody like Negroes, Negroes or colored. And now nobody calls, you know, African American Negroes. And it's just so degrading, offensive.
Yeah.
So that's how I
interesting
feel like...
that you say that because I kind of wondered about that too, you know?
that's why I feel like that's why I want to evolve for us to just be seen like everyone else.
Yeah, but in social media can be pretty mean too. When I had my TV show, somebody called me a tranny, and I wrote back, "Thank you."
Yeah, which honestly I feel like it's sometimes a compliment. And
there's
nowadays,
some gorgeous trannies out there. So
I agree.
I'm okay, right?
That's how I feel like. And I like a lot of guys. I was having this interview with this guy from Logo, and he was telling me that most women nowadays, like, they look like guys can't even tell the difference because most women have their hair up to their waist, and usually in the past, transgender women are the ones that with the makeup and the body and the extensions and the weave, and now all the girls are doing
basically the house of dolls.
So like a lot of women say to me, "Oh, we're your blueprint." I'm like, sure, if you really look, you know, it's starting to look like we're your blueprint.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, with this show, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things about you that people are relating to and liking. What are some of the things that you hope, or you maybe that didn't get to see about you guys, that you hope or would like for them to know about you? Did I phrase that correctly?
Yeah.
How would you like people to know about you? What would you like?
That at the end of the day, at night, I'm not this tough bitch. There's things that keep me up at night and that I cry about. And that, life has made me strong, or hasn't made me so trustworthy and sometimes a bitch, just because, society has been hard on me.
Yeah.
And that at the end of the day, like, we're all human and we're all, like, going through shit, you know?
Kevin?
Well, with me, like, I basically seem like I don't put my voice out for a lot of other things. Like, I feel like it's more like it's showing more of my sadness and whatnot, but I'm a really happy person, and I entertain everybody, and I'm always on everybody's everything. Like, I get along with everybody, I have fun, but it shows like I'm going through something, and I am, but there's much more to that than the problems that I'm going through.
Well, I think those problems of sadness help you appreciate the happy days.
Yeah, and I appreciate all my happy days.
Yeah.
So when I come in, I'm always in a great mood, trying to, get everybody in a good mood.
You're not for bipolar. No.
Well,
only if
on that
something
note,
happens.
what's your guys' social media so people can follow you?
So on Twitter, Instagram, my YouTube channel, everything is Dashing Thalia.
And mine, everything, as well as the Beat of NYC.
I love it. So that's Beaty Bar, VH1, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. You guys are great.
Thank you.
It's so nice to get to know the people behind the camera, or in front of the camera. And thanks for being here.